thank you so much for being willing to talk with me, young
You're
lady.
welcome. Thank you.
So you're living in Los Angeles.
I am, but from New York.
You're from New York. Oh, and give me your full name and how you pronounce it.
Okay, my name is Jasmin Mieles. Mieles, and no middle name.
What is your ethnic mix? Your cocktail?
We like to call it New Yorican. So I'm a Puerto Rican born in New York.
You're like me. You're a first generation immigrant.
Yeah, I am.
And like in affluence with a lot of favor, or did you have to kind of carve your way?
Totally carved my way. Parents dirt poor. We grew up in middle Spanish Harlem, low income housing, public schools. Yep. No actors or photographers in my family. That's how I started. So we were school of hard knocks, as you like to call it.
Because when I was 23 years old and it was 1983,
wow.
I lived, yeah, I know.
Very cool.
I lived on 76th Street in West End.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, for about.
But it wasn't so nice back then in 1983.
No, it was not nice.
Wasn't.
My building was a shithole.
I bet.
I mean, it was really rough.
Can you imagine what that apartment goes for now? You know, ridiculous.
Yeah. I was paying $150 a month. Oh my God. Yeah. And it was tiny.
But you had to watch your back.
It was
you
tiny.
Had to watch your, I bet.
I want to ask how old you are, but I know that's a taboo. You're not supposed to ask. Okay.
I'm 43.
Okay. You are a very young looking 43.
Yeah. Well, thanks. No kids.
Yeah, that helped. You got my interest with Instagram, and I really love particularly the way you do story. So I guess I'm trying to learn from you.
Oh, for me, basically, in my Insta stories is a process of what's going on in my mind, either the day or the night of. It's like I have 12 tabs open all at once. I have a bunch of photos to edit tonight. And yet my mind could be on the ocean, the comedian I saw last night, the movie I want to see, the poem I just read, the music I'm just listening to. And I'm like all over the place. So it's like a vomiting on my Insta stories of everything that I'm thinking about and loving. And yet I'm supposed to be doing some homework, or I should be doing something that I don't want to be doing or something like that.
Yeah, but maybe that's also all part of the process.
Maybe, yeah. Right? It's an unloading, if you will. I need to share my passions of the day so then I can go on and carry on with the real stuff or something like that. I don't know.
I'm doing interviews. Partly it's like anti-selfish medicine. Please buy my art. Please pay attention. I'm like a little child.
Right. Look at me.
And I'm trying to subjugate that a little bit. And so like, Rick, like open it up. Like bring more people into your life. Ask them questions.
I love that. And that's my favorite thing to do too, is to ask people questions about themselves and get to know people. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's got something really interesting to say. Just got to get it out of them, you know?
Yeah. And so a little bit more about your story. How long have you been in Los Angeles?
August will be 16 years. I thought I'd be here only for 2. But it's been 16 years almost. And
that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I feel like I've abandoned New York because I it still holds so dear to my heart, the New York status. But Los Angeles has really given me a lot of gifts.
So what would be one of those gifts that LA has given to you?
Funny enough, I didn't think I I had a very strong family unit in New York. Okay. And coming out here, I thought that, you believed the hype about people being flaky and weird.
Yeah.
And I found the exact opposite. I was able to achieve, I came across several groups of people that became my family. And I could not have survived these 16 crazy ass years without the strong foundation of group of friends I have that I now consider my family.
Yeah.
That's been a gift beyond gifts, that no matter how low things have gotten, I was never really alone. And so that was pretty huge for me, and still is.
Yeah.
In terms of surviving this really crazy city.
Right. Right.
Have you ever been to Los Angeles?
When I was 10 in 1970, my mother died in February, the
Oh,
winter of 1970. I was uh, 9 years old, and I was going to turn 10 that March. And my dad had this brilliant idea. He had a sister, Yeti, who lived out in Santa Ana.
oh
And
wow.
so he sent my sister, my older sister, and I on our first jet plane ride.
Oh,
You know, when stewardesses wore mini skirts, you know.
so
Um,
sexy.
yes, very
Especially
sexy.
for a
No, I was
9-year-old
just big.
boy, you're like, oh my God.
I know. It's like, can I have another Pepsi, please? But anyway, yeah. So we had the whole summer in California,
Very
and it was really good actually. It was a nice kind of, I don't know, some kind of cleansing of the trauma of
yeah,
losing my mother, and I had a beautiful summer,
that's
and
awesome.
that was the last time. I think it's about time to go back and see what's changed.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. I'm
Yeah,
sure. In the
yeah.
16 years I've been here, it's changed a lot.
But
I
you
have an aunt in Santa Ana, funny enough.
really,
And I
yeah.
spent my 13th summer here, and that changed me too.
But how many movies? Like either, when we go to the movies, either we're visiting New York or we're visiting LA, basically.
Always. And Detroit. There's some Detroit spots. Which is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Detroit is cool.
Detroit, I've never been. I have a good friend who lives there, and a couple
Okay.
that I know that they love their Detroit. They go between Los Angeles and Detroit.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
yeah. Detroit is really, it had the shit totally kicked out of it for years,
Right.
and it's in its phoenix. It's rising up out of the
Right.
ashes in a very unique way because it was just humbled so severely, and there's so much open land, and there's like beaver back in the Detroit River, first time in 100 years. There's
Wow, that's so cool.
deer and coyote that run through the city, and all these like acres and acres of open lots with grass that's like,
Oh my God.
it's like there's a great. Anyway, I'm starting to
No,
babble.
no, it's okay.
See what happens. Painting is a lonely practice.
I bet. You have to be by yourself painting.
I know. And so when you get another person, I just feel like
Mhm.
I count, like,
Sometimes I have a dog walking business during the day as well, and there were times when I wouldn't see another human being for hours and hours. And the first person I talked to would be like, so, da, 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 da. So I get it. I get it.
yeah,
Or it's just me and the dogs
exactly.
talking.
Or, what are you known for? And also kind of where are you at? Where do you want to be?
Okay. Photography is something I've loved forever, but I didn't think I was very good at it. I was doing your cliche photographs. There's a famous quote, I believe Bresson said that your first 10,000 photos are your worst. That was definitely where I was. But I was an actress for a very long time. And
Oh,
in 2009, I retired. I just wasn't happy. And then I picked up the camera again. And
yeah.
I got my first camera from an old boyfriend when I was 19. So but I had several boyfriends throughout my years give me a camera. But this
Oh,
time I bought my own camera with a tax refund. And
yeah.
I decided to just take it up a notch and ask my friends, which is how you start, by asking your friends to sit for you. It was either the dog or the dogs I met on a daily basis, boyfriends, whoever would just sit for me. And I just started to get better at it.
Yeah.
I like to take portraits and I like to do editorial style shoots, but I mean, I'll shoot anything and everything because it's just an extension of my mind and my heart now. But ultimately, what I would like is just to take photographs and get paid for it on my own terms, and but be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. And here I am, I'm doing the work, and now I'm like, but I want it like this and I want it like that. But
Okay.
um I just I love to shoot with people. I like to get to know people, and
Yeah.
I like meeting people through that format, through that medium, because there has to be a connection in order for you to take a photograph, a special photograph. I can't
Yeah.
just sit here and go, hey, okay, click. I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. I'm going to fall in love with you, and I'm going
Yeah.
to photograph you, and hopefully it'll transfer into what I come up with.
Wow.
That's what I hope.
Wow. totally relate to what you're saying right now.
Yeah. Always end up hugging them and missing them and going, we should hang out. Sometimes rarely do you do, but I always think of them. They're part of me, you know?
Well, I spent some time tonight because I wanted to be prepared, you know, and I was going through your photographs, and not overt eroticism, but there is, you know, they're like sensual. There's a sensuality.
Okay, thank
and there's
you.
Also, yeah, and which I appreciate, and there's also kind of a glamorous, you know, beautiful clothes, kind of, you know, I don't know. Do you want to say anything about that?
I think what you see, if my photographs, if what is happening in my mind is translating to my photographs, it's just that I live in a perpetual state of a music video, and all my life I wanted to make music videos, but I can't. I've never been able to make that jump. Or I never tried. I'm just saying, but okay. I love music, and I love film, and so photography is my little cheat in the middle. You know, it's the way I get to tell the story of this girl or this guy. And the way I would shoot them in my own little play or in my own little movie, and the music's playing in my head. So what you see is basically the fantasy of me living through them.
That makes
but
a
I'm
lot
hiding
of sense
behind
because
the camera.
They're like movies. They're like movie stills.
Yeah, that's how it always feels for me.
So there's this implied story or narrative, which
totally
I think is another thing that I respond to, because I love movies too. In fact, I love trailers. Like,
so do I. I need trailers in my life every day.
Yeah, I'm like a trailer addict. I mean,
me too. Apple Music / trailers.
Yes.
You're like, this will be a pastime of mine. Friday night, no one is happier.
Why? Tell me why.
Why do I love Pulp Fiction? And it's just so stylish, and the music. I mean, of course, again, it's a perpetual music video with a great storyline, and you've got John Travolta. It's just even though it's a fucked up, violent, crazy film, it's still funny and silly and sexy all at once.
Yeah.
So it's kind of me, kind of silly, kind of silly, fucked up, and fun all at once. I don't know. I don't even know what it said. But
you know where Iggy Pop is from? Michigan.
I know, man. He's cool as fuck. He's a cool ass cat. I love Iggy Pop.
I do too. He's old and young at the same time. Here's my New York story. It's 1983, and I go to this like underground club in the Lower East Side where I like to go dancing. And I had no romance. I was just like, I was like living the life of an aesthetic monk, basically. And but I would go to this club and I would like go dancing and ogle the girls. Anyway, William Burroughs comes in.
Get out of here.
He takes off his jacket, folds it, puts it down, and he just dances for like about 3 or 4 songs by himself. And then he gets his jacket and he leaves.
No.
Yeah. And I couldn't take my eyes off him the whole time. And I said to myself, when I am fucking 84 years old, I want to be that. Did he have problems? Yes. So he accidentally killed his wife. I mean, heroin. Okay.
Okay. My name is Jasmin Mieles. And no middle name. It's just even though it's a fucked up, violent, crazy film, it's still funny and silly and sexy all at once.